Hey everyone, how is it going? Sorry about that, I clicked the wrong window. But welcome to another episode of Coffee with Kage. And in today's episode, powered by coffee, we are going to be talking about streaming and piracy. And, well, let's be completely fair on this. This is a problem that has existed since long before streaming was a thing. In fact, if you go back to the early 90s, you're talking about things like Napster and all that stuff, which was very well known for promoting piracy. And that is exactly what or those streaming services were meant for, because we get all these record companies that have all this music, and you only want certain songs off, say, one album from, say, Earthquake 182, but you want another song from, or Deftones off another album, but you don't want to go out and spend $10, $50 on the whole album, you just want to get the one song. And that's kind of what led to the birth of iTunes and streaming Napster or Spotify, stuff like that, which, in their defense, were ingenious moves for the time and really did solve the issue of media piracy. And for a very long time, it was on the decline because, they finally figured out, you give the consumers more legal options, and the issue is going to become a much less problematic thing. And just for the record, I do not condone piracy. I do not or want you to go out there and start pirating all this stuff. I am simply voicing my opinion as a consumer and as a fan of franchises that are going to probably fall victim to this because of the landscape of the streaming services and how it's recreating the problems that it originally had solved, which led to piracy. At first, let's go back to what kind of led up to piracy. And it was really the competition between all these cable services like HBO, Cinemax, or NBC, all that stuff. And people would want to watch certain shows, but they were on at the same time, and each or individual place had its specific slot they wanted to compete with everyone else. So, like, for example, or in modern times, a good comparison to what was going on back then that I'm very familiar with is Star Trek Discovery and the Orville. They was basically on TV about the same time slots and was competing with each other, and one eventually won out over the other. But ironically, those two shows are exactly what brings me into the modern era of streaming with this exact same problem. Well, as you can see on the left window here, that it is a lot of the major streaming services that are out right now. Some of them I am active subscribers to because I genuinely love their content and it gives me a lot of options for the content I want when I want to watch it. Problem is, you're starting to see more and more exclusives pop up with each service. And say a great example from my personal experience, CBS All Access. The one show that I wanted to watch on their service was Star Trek Discovery. This was back before I understood just how bad that show really is. So I paid them $5.99 for it, and I kind of regret that now because that $5.99 was not worth one show that just destroyed a franchise. Not worth it. There was nothing else about CBS All Access that attracts me as a consumer of media. Because none of the other CBS shows I actually care about. It was just Star Trek. And now a move that they are making is trying to pull the licensing contract since Paramount and CBS reformed Viacom, or they're trying to pull back all the licensing to get it off of places like Amazon, Hulu, and all those other places that I would normally go for because I like Hulu. I mean, I just really love the variety on that service. It has a lot of the content I like. And Amazon Prime, it's got a lot of the same content, but it's also got its own specific things that are exclusive to it. So, but they are originals. Originals, I do not mind because those were not pre-existing franchises. Those were brand new that came up as a way to promote their service, which I am not complaining about. So, but Star Trek has been around since the 1960s. Star Wars has been around since since about the same time frame. And those are existing franchises. The only reason Disney gets a pass for them buying out Lucasfilm and making it a Disney Plus exclusive is the fact that Disney Plus has a lot of other content to go along with it to make it stand out that the eyes of its consumer like. And as like you're starting like your Marvel films, your Disney Pixar films, or your original Disney films like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, all their truly original content that they license out, and you can also still access on Amazon Prime or Hulu and stuff like that. They have their own set of stuff, and it makes sense for them because they have a lot of content, and a lot of it also is licensed out. So you can get a lot of that content elsewhere if you really wanted to. CBS only really has Star Trek going for it, so it really is not a good show. And of course, there's some other stuff at CBS I imagine does appeal to other customers, but it doesn't really justify or the $6.99 or sub fee. It just doesn't. And that is why Piracy, I believe, is poised to make a comeback because they are recreating the problem that Netflix and Hulu originally solved way back in the early 2000s when they started coming into prominence. Whereas they were offering variety and the content that people wanted, the way they wanted to get it, without having to go to piracy. Because a $8 a month subscription, you can watch all these different movies and then turn around and watch these different shows, right, when they wanted to watch them without having to or go to say or a file sharing and download a very poor version of it. That solved that problem. And they didn't have to have a cable box, so they didn't have to go to cable TV. It solved a problem the industry had created for itself. The industry did not adapt quick enough, and now they're starting to move to streaming themselves, which is why you're seeing HBO Now, CBS All Access, ESPN Plus. And ESPN kind of can get away with it on its own because it is sports content. Sports content is ever changing, is generally better consumed live. That is the unique appeal of their streaming business model because for like a football game, they can stream it live and then put it in an archive. It makes sense for their business model. Or Amazon Prime just has a lot of licensed content. They work with Hulu and the same companies that provide content for them. HBO through Game of Thrones, or previously Star Trek. I'm not sure what that contract is going to look like now with Viacom being back in the picture. And or with all these different exclusive streaming services that have their own specific slice of the pie without offering a lot of content because they want to attract customers based on one thing, that is recreating the problem that led to piracy in the first place. And as a consumer, that is concerning to me because I don't want to see piracy return. It's like, or people who made The Mandalorian, fantastic show writers, fantastic storytellers, fantastic actors. I want them to be rewarded with that or the section of the subscription that I give to Disney Plus because I support that content. I want them to succeed. Amazon Prime, just a fantastic deal overall. You get a lot of videos, you get free shipping. It is a fantastic business model. I want to reward that customer service with my or Amazon Prime monthly subscription. CBS All Access, I don't want to reward them snatching options from me just because they want to capitalize on that or 8, 10, 12 bucks a month, whatever it is that they charge now. I just cancel my subscription with them because I can't support that business model. And that's all they have, in my opinion, for me as a consumer, is Star Trek. So why am I going to give them $6 a month to basically show me reruns for shows that I have on DVDs? It doesn't make any sense to me. I've already paid for them on DVDs. I used to be able to stream it on Amazon Prime. I'm probably still going to be able to or stream it on Hulu for a while, but it's probably going to go away. So why do I want to resort or reward them for snatching my business up from other people? And so I'm sorry. I love Star Trek, but it is not enough to justify or me giving or $6.99 a month to a company that has basically killed the franchise. Disney almost killed Star Wars. Thankfully, Mandalorian is a little bit of hope for it, which is why I'm willing to give them or the monthly sub fee because they are actually trying. CBS is not. Or HBO, I can't really justify giving them a monthly fee, and granted, I haven't because, yes, I like Game of Thrones, but that's the only show there I want to watch. So to me, that doesn't justify giving them or my monthly sub, but they offer a lot of content that other people would like. So I kind of understand their business model too, is it makes sense. Diverse content, and a lot of it does overlap. So, but the more you see streaming companies like this pop up, it's even affecting the gaming industry, which is why I also bring back this point that piracy is poised to make a comeback. You have all these different exclusive launchers coming up, and you can only get the game from that launcher. And a great example, Epic Games, Blizzard, Rockstar. Those are the three major ones right now. But there's also Humble or a bunch of others that I can't even remember off the top of my head. Or Origin, I forgot about EA. They all have their own exclusive launchers, and you can only get the games through their launchers now. So again, it is replicating the same problem that led to piracy way back. Exclusive deals. That is a plague on the industry that needs to go away. Now I can understand, say, if you don't want to deal with Steam, offering your game on a couple of different platforms, because they each have different business models and each has a different unique appeal. But when you start limiting customer options just because you want a few more dollars, you're part of the problem that's leading to piracy as a company. So that is my concern, or generally as a consumer, is that bad industry decisions are leading to the resurgence of something that rightfully was going away. And it should never come into existence, but it came into existence to solve a problem. A problem that wasn't being solved until streaming came out. When streaming came out, it started going downhill. Once you could start buying individual songs like through iTunes, it started going downhill. When you could start streaming the music you wanted, like through Spotify and iHeartRadio, it started going downhill. But now, with exclusive deals and bad business practices by some of these companies to attract their customer base so they can continue to make money in what I would describe as a very illegitimate way, it's going to be making a comeback because, or granted, I like Disney Plus, I like Hulu, I like Amazon Prime. I don't like CBS All Access, and I don't like HBO Now for a simple fact they don't have the content I like. But that exclusive content that where say only one show is liked by customers that don't subscribe to the service, and they see nothing else to make them want to subscribe to that service, that is attracting piracy because people want to watch that one show and not pay the full price. I hope someone in the industry sees why this is going to be a problem. And it's not a huge problem now, but it is a growing problem because the exclusive content problem is continuing to grow in response. So the more it grows, the more piracy is going to make a comeback. So the only way I can see that or nip it in the bud early on right now is figure out a way to get exclusive access to say if you only like one show, then charge say like $1 a month for that one show. So or maybe 50 or maybe 75 cents or something like that, just a small fee for the show, not like $5 a month or 10 or 15, because when you're say let's do some math here. So say each of we'll just say we're going to subscribe to 4 of these, and they're all about averaging $7.99 a month, and we're averaging to 5 of those a month. That's almost $40 a month. I could buy an entire show on or Blu-ray DVD for the same price and never have to pay for it again. That would be a recurring monthly fee. So let's just say we keep all these for a year, or 12 months. That is almost $500 a year just for streaming right now. So, and what did cable cost for 12 months? That's an estimate. I'm not sure that's the exact price. Just a general estimate. Really, it's not that big, not that difference when you talk about on a year scale. Like, that's kind of a problem. And I'm hoping someone sees this and starts coming up with a better solution. Like Disney Plus, a great example. They bundled in ESPN Plus and Hulu into access with Disney Plus, or for a $12.99 fee. So, and again, I pay for a commercial free on Hulu because I'm tired of ads. But that was a great deal. It is offering multiple streaming services within one streaming subscription. It is brilliant, and CBS would be wise to take that approach, to make a deal with Amazon Prime or to make a deal with Netflix, so they could stream the CBS All Access content on those without the ads, and still be able to get other content too. It would make their business model a lot more viable. And that is the way the industry needs to go. And that is my personal opinion as a consumer of these products. It is a problem that needed to go away, but it's coming back because they're recreating the same problem that led to it in the first place. This is a warning to the entertainment industry, and as a member of the Fandom Menace, which I'm officially calling myself a member of it, not necessarily because I agree with all the points of view of the Fandom Menace, but I agree with their intent to try and improve things for everybody. It's like for Star Wars, like Episode 7 was okay, it had potential. I liked kind of where it could have went, but Episode 7 with The Last Jedi, it was just a disaster. And Episode 9 was not a great movie by any means, but it did the best it could, or with what it was left from Last Jedi. In my opinion, Episode 7 and 8 do not count as canon, in my opinion. The Mandalorian is fixing a lot of the problems and actually giving us good Star Wars content. It's always going to be perfect? I don't know. But Star Trek Discovery did the same thing Episode 7 and or 7, 8, and 9 did. It started off with a little bit of potential, then just went downhill. And it just bombed. And Season 2 had a little bit of hope to it, but it was too little too late. Season 3, as far as I'm concerned, like it was what Season 1 should have been. In its own era, in its own time, and by themselves, Episodes 8 and 9 could be their own stories and be just fine as sci-fi films, not connected to Star Wars. Star Trek Discovery could be just fine as a sci-fi series, not connected to Star Trek. So, entertainment industry, or CBS, or all of you people that want to make this content, or that or is with our beloved franchises, please take a step back and listen to what the fans are saying, because the fans are ultimately what gives you the money to make this stuff. Like, sure, you get your money from sponsors, but who do you think fuels your sponsors? It's not big corporate wigs, it's not big investors. It is the consumers that are buying the merchandising, that are buying these streaming services. It is the consumer who is giving the investors the capital to give to you. So in the end, without the fans, you have no reason to have streaming service. You have no reason to make more content. So respect the fans and listen to their concerns. Or I could do a whole podcast on, I fully intend to, on specifically attacking fans for basically bullshit reasons. Just like attacking fans is making us even angrier because we feel like it is not justified, and that's something that needs to change. These fans want these franchises to succeed. Fans want these streaming services to succeed. But for them to succeed, they have to listen to the fans and do what the fans are asking them to do. And it's not that we're asking things unreasonable. It's asking for basic options. If I want to watch Star Trek on Amazon but not access CBS, then I don't want to access CBS. If I want to watch Star Wars on Hulu, then I want to watch Star Wars on Hulu. That's just two examples. Give the consumer options. Quit trying to force us to get your specific service because that's all the content you have and no one wants the rest of it. It's stuff like that. Just respect the fans and the fans will respect you. With that, I hope your New Year's off to a great start, and I will see you again on the next episode of Coffee with Kage. Have a good one.